So I want to use preg replace to do the following. Let's say we have a number of names that are in this form, and we want them to be in this form. That's one example. And then I'm going to do another example where we have a phone number, for instance, like this. This is a German phone number with 2 zeros at the beginning, 179. And we want it to be in another common format like this. So it's going to be like this and like this. So these are the two tasks that we have that we're going to use preg replace for. You could use string functions for them, but okay, maybe for these examples, you could do them quite quickly with string functions. But if they were any more complex, then you would probably need to use regular expressions to identify, for instance, that the 2 zeros are at the beginning, and don't just replace. If there's 2 zeros somewhere here in the middle, don't just put a plus there, for instance. That's what regular expressions are good at. So we're going to learn preg replace. First, we need a couple names. Names. I'm making an array here. Names Jim Smith. Names. We're adding to the array here John Thompson, for instance. Names. Angie Adler, whatever. Okay, so now we have 3 names in our array. And let's just list them out just to see if this is working here. For each, names, name, and echo the name. Here we go. So let's see how that is working perfectly. We have our 3 names. Now what we want to do is make it display last name, comma, first name. Let's start with the preg match. Sorry, the preg replace. So here we have our preg replace, and we need a regular expression. We want to identify this word, this space, and this word so that when we tell preg replace what we want to replace this with, we can use this as a variable and this as a variable. Let me show you what I mean. There are 3 parts here. The first part, for instance, Jim, we want to identify as 1 or more alphanumeric characters. /w or \w is alphanumeric character. In the middle, well, here, let's do this one here too, because the last name is the same. So we've defined the first name and the last name, and now the middle is a white space. It could even be a tab or a space. So now we've identified it. And here we'll put in our text or our name here. What goes in the second parameter, though, is what we want to replace our name with. Let me just show you what kind of variables we have available to us here. I'll do it like this. So 0 is the first variable that we have. Let's look at that. So 0 equals the whole string. What does 1 equal? The variable $1, or the variable $0 equals the whole string. The variable $1 equals the first element that we found. What about 2? Equals that space in the middle, or the tab, or whatever it is. What about 3? That equals the last name. So now we see that we have access to each part of our string in terms of variables. So now all we need to do is say, put $3, comma, $1. And we have what we wanted. So I want to do this other example with the telephone numbers as well, just to show you that it works a little differently. Let's get some phone numbers here. Phone number equals 0049, 179, whatever. Let's get them as strings here. So, and let's just change them a little bit. So we have some different numbers. Okay, we have an array of phone numbers. Let's print them out just to make sure we're working here. For each equals phone numbers, got it, and echo that phone number out to the screen. And we have here our 3 phone numbers. Great. Now let's get in there with preg replace. Echo preg replace. This is going to be our regular expression here. Let's see, what do we need? We need a little item here, 0, 0 at the beginning of the line. That's what we want to find. Followed by a digit occurring any number of times. Yeah, some long digit. Okay, now let's see. Okay, let's make our second one here on our phone number so we're complete already. Okay, now this is what we're going to replace it with. Let's do the same thing that we did in our other example and look at all of the variables that we have. 0 is, oops, sorry, I did it like this. 0 is $0. Let's see what that is, for instance. Okay, it's the whole string. Fine. 1 is $1. Let's see what that is. Okay, it's the 0, 0 part. Super. And what's 2? 2 is the rest of the string. So we just have to consider our task. Our task was to output a number that has a plus and then this number that comes after the 0, 0. So let's do that. That would be $2. So we just need a plus and $2. And we have exactly what we wanted. So you see here, if you know a little bit about preg replace, how it works, basically, you can replace text in text or parse text in ways that if you were only using string replace functions would be very difficult or in some cases almost impossible. So it's very good to know the basics of preg replace as we used it here.